Stretching across more than 2 million square miles in the heart of South America, the world's largest rainforest holds secrets beneath its lush canopy. Beyond the towering trees that reach toward the sky, you'll discover the most biologically diverse regions on Earth. What you're witnessing is the very essence of the Amazon, the home of the wild. This is a journey that will take you deep into the world's most mysterious forest, the Amazon. We'll explore the breathtaking diversity of wildlife that calls this place home and discover how this rainforest sustains the incredibly diverse existence of species living in this wild and mysterious kingdom. The Amazon rainforest is fed by the Amazon River, considered the largest river on Earth by some accounts. It has the widest drainage basin and the greatest water volume on the planet. The area of this majestic rainforest equals the territory covered by the 48 contiguous United States. It's a staggering figure, considering this is just one forest. The Amazon stretches 4,025 miles from the peaks of the Andes in Peru to the stunning beaches of Brazil. With a forest this vast, there's no doubt it can harbor some of the strangest and most mysterious creatures that exist in this world. The forest contains over 16,000 different tree species, totaling approximately 390 billion individual trees. The number of plant species could exceed 40,000 if we include algae, fungi, shrubs, and vines. As we know, there are still countless inhabitants here, yet to be discovered or documented, and only a small fraction of the Amazon's ecological diversity consists of plants, algae, and fungi. Beyond the vegetation, let's talk about the diversity of animal species living in this colossal wild home. So far, over 1,300 different bird species, 378 different reptile species, along with 400 amphibian species, and at least 427 diverse mammal species have been identified in the Amazon. You've probably noticed we haven't mentioned any invertebrates yet, like insects and spiders. That's because the Amazon's colossal invertebrate population reaches into the millions and branches into countless species. And that's only what's been documented and discovered so far. What's fascinating is that the Amazon's wildlife also shapes the vibrant colors of South America. Some of these creatures blend perfectly with their surroundings, while others display extraordinarily diverse combinations of colors, spots, and vibrant patterns. The Amazon rainforest, the world's largest, is unrivaled in its immense biodiversity. To see these extraordinary creatures, visitors from around the world flock to the Amazon with telephoto cameras and binoculars. Now, let's explore some of the most unique and stunning wildlife species of this spectacular rainforest. Let's start with the birds. The Amazon is one of the most diverse bird habitats in the world. It's home to hummingbirds, Watsons, and macaws. Macaws are highly intelligent and friendly. They're a symbol of the Amazon. These birds live in flocks of 10 to 30 individuals and typically nest in tree cavities high up or on rocky cliff faces. They can live up to 65 years and mate for life. Some macaws can even mimic the human voice. However, the illegal pet trade and deforestation pose serious threats to macaws. Macaws are also the most colorfully plumed birds in the forest. Red, yellow, green, and blue are the most common colors in macaw plumage, but they can display virtually any color. They often gather near clay cliffs to feed. You can also find harpy eagles here. The harpy eagle's piercing eyes and sharp beak are its most distinctive features. Its appearance shows it's one of the forest's apex predators and the most majestic bird in Amazonian skies. The harpy eagle has a white belly, gray head, and on its wings, beautiful feather patterns of white, gray, and black. Watching this eagle hunt is a breathtaking spectacle. This is the spangled cotinga, the bird with the most mystical beauty in the Amazon rainforest. Males are recognized by a patch of pink feathers on their throat and bodies covered in brilliant turquoise plumage. This bird looks like an exquisite work of art, created by a gifted artist. Unlike other birds, this species lives in the canopy of the Amazon rainforest and cannot sing. Now let's move on to some special forest mammals. Big cats, monkeys, and a carnivorous creature with a gentle appearance that lives beneath the river are among the Amazon's most unique animals. This is a jaguar. They're the most elegant, mysterious, and elusive cats in the world. Recognized as the third largest cat species on Earth and the largest cat in the Americas, this species has an extensive range, stretching from the southwestern United States to northern Argentina, but primarily in the Amazon rainforest. The jaguar has African origins and is believed to have arrived in the Americas approximately 1.5 million years ago via a land bridge that once crossed the Bering Strait. Like other big cats, jaguars live solitary lives, except for mothers living with their cubs. The name jaguar comes from the indigenous term jaguarete, meaning the one who kills in one leap. Unlike domestic cats, jaguars aren't afraid of water. In fact, they consider areas around rivers, streams, and floodplains as their home. Jaguars love to swim. In many cases, they even consider caimans as prey. This big cat hunts day and night and can travel up to 6 miles searching for food. They kill their prey with an extremely powerful bite. To this day, it remains the species with the strongest bite among all cats. Their teeth are strong enough to pierce a caiman's thick hide and can crack through a turtle's shell. This powerful bite can take down prey 4 times their size. When hunting, jaguars typically bite the back of their prey's skull, not the neck or throat like other cats. During mating season, a pair of jaguars may mate many times per day. The female's gestation period lasts approximately 14 weeks. Each litter will have 2 to 4 cubs. And like other big cats, cubs are born temporarily blind during their first days of life. This is a relatively difficult period for the mother. For the cultures of Central and South America, the jaguar is considered a symbol of strength and power. Known by the special name river wolf, this is the world's largest giant otter. They thrive thanks to the richness and abundance of the rivers and floodplains of the Amazon. These otters can measure up to 5.5 feet long. Despite their adorable appearance, the Amazon giant otter is a predator to be truly feared. They're afraid of nothing, not even jaguars. They can even kill and eat anacondas or black caimans. Giant otters don't live alone. These hunters live in packs. They hunt, eat, and sleep together. With fish in abundance, the Amazon is paradise for giant otters. Otters inhabit dens located along riverbanks. An otter family has several dens to use, in rotation. During the day, they're out and about, but at night they return to their den and sleep as a pack. Females give birth in the den and care for their young there. They remain together almost all day. Each individual rarely strays from the pack. Underwater, giant otters aren't even afraid of humans. When danger arises, for example, if caimans are nearby, these animals alert each other by snorting. A giant otter family typically consists of a father, mother, and offspring up to 3 years old. When the father or mother dies, that position will be replaced by another otter, searching for a new home. Family life continues with the step-parent. Typically, otters live together in groups of around 10 individuals. After hunting, the entire group gathers to rest and play. Sometimes they'll hunt several times a day. At dusk, when the sun sets, the parents lead the whole family back to the den to sleep. Giant otters eat a lot. Each adult needs up to 6.5 pounds of food per day. Given that their weight generally doesn't exceed 45 pounds, in terms of body weight, it's equivalent to an average person eating 33 pounds of fish per day. Giant otters are expert hunters. Underwater, they use their tails as rudders. Their paws are webbed. They chase their prey and herd them toward other otters in the pack. But they must always stay alert for enemies. Caimans can appear at any moment and attack those who lose their vigilance. Otters in a family are distinguished by white markings under their throats. When otters reach sexual maturity, they leave in search of new territories. On that journey, the river becomes their migration route. The otters on this river are all single, solitary individuals seeking a new home. In the vast tributary system of the Amazon, that's no problem. The river always has enough fish and shelter for them. This young male otter probably just caught a large fish. But as humans penetrate deeper into the forest and destroy it, the otter's river routes become increasingly difficult. Gold prospectors excavate the forest floor, leaving deep, muddy pits. The high demand for gold and soaring prices make gold mining in the forest extremely lucrative. Citizens of wealthy countries invest more and more money in gold. Very few of them care how the gold is obtained, which includes the use of massive amounts of extremely toxic mercury. For every kilogram of gold extracted from the forest, an equivalent amount of mercury contaminates the land, air, and water. Mercury poisons the rivers, the fish, and the otters. Gold miners are making the rivers where otters travel increasingly deadly. Leaving the home of the giant otters, let's visit the home of the world's largest rodent. The queen of charm in the animal kingdom is the capybara. This isn't your typical rat or squirrel you can keep as a house pet. This animal is the size of a sheep. Since their names are on the menu of every predator, size is particularly important. This is a small pond in the Amazon River basin. It's also an ideal resting place for a capybara family. In the dry season, this large group can have dozens of young who are raised and protected safely. Most of these young are born at the end of the rainy season, when the waters begin to recede. There's plenty of grass, rich in nutrients for these herbivores. There are quite a few ponds around this area, and other capybara families have already established their own territories. The dry season is also the perfect time for the young to learn the necessary skills to survive in the amphibious world, half underwater, half on land, of their species. Giant capybaras are only found in South America. With their peculiar bodies and unusual behavior, they spark curiosity in anyone who sees them. They were once thought to be a species of undiscovered pig, but these strange-looking animals have evolved specifically to adapt here. Their webbed toes are a huge advantage in the water. High on their heads are their eyes and ears, acting like radar, scanning the environment for enemies even when they're in the water. Capybaras are very large. An adult of this species can measure over 3 feet and weigh up to 120 pounds. Each group can have anywhere from 1 to several dozen individuals, led by a dominant male. He's a young male with the largest scent gland on his snout. That scent gland is called a murillo, and they use it to mark the family's territorial sovereignty by rubbing it against surrounding plants. This scent marking also helps maintain the strict social hierarchy among males. When the dominant male dies, the next one in the hierarchy assumes the #1 position. There are never battles related to power disputes. All the females in the group mate with the dominant male and give birth during the same period. Synchronized birthing reduces the risk of being captured by solitary predators. The more animals in a group, the lower the risk of becoming prey, because all members are vigilant. Unlike other rodents, capybara young are born covered in fur and with their eyes open. They need to be ready to survive in a world where their names are already on the menus of many other species. The dangers they face can come from the sudden attacks of a caiman or from an anaconda. And on land, they're a delicacy for smaller predators, like wildcats, jaguars, and birds of prey. Growing fast is mandatory and an important strategy in their defense tactics. That takes them off the menu of some smaller carnivores. Therefore, they'll need to consume lots of calories over the coming months. Barely born, they must catch up and learn to graze while still nursing. All the females share child-rearing duties during the first 16 weeks of life. The young ones can approach any female other than their mother to ask for milk. These young need to grow as fast as possible, since only about a third will survive their first year. Now it's the height of the dry season, and the ponds seem to boil under the midday sun. When the temperature rises, the entire group must find a way to protect themselves from the sun and uncomfortable heat. Their thin fur makes them vulnerable to sunburn. That's why they soak in the mud. This layer of mud acts as a natural sunscreen. Capybaras have very few sweat glands, and because their bodies are so large, their body temperature can easily rise. That's why they spend a lot of time submerged in water. This helps them regulate their body temperature and stay cool. The long periods of rest also help them digest the food, composed mainly of fiber, that they've previously ingested. An adult capybara eats around 6.5 pounds of plants per day. The capybara's name in the local language means Lord of the Grasses. They're grazing animals that eat aquatic plants, as well as fruits and even tree bark. To be able to absorb the nutrients from these plants, difficult to digest, capybaras must digest their food twice, based on their special digestive system. Just like rabbits, they eat their own feces. And like cows, they have an extremely efficient digestive system. All the nutrients are eventually processed and absorbed. Capybaras are very skilled swimmers. It's a useful defensive tactic. Once in the water, they can stay submerged for 5 minutes without surfacing. Their small hands have movable flaps that can close their ears. Their fatty tissue helps them float. Therefore, they can venture into deeper waters to feed. When the sun sets over this wild land, capybaras must venture into the undergrowth for shelter. They're quite disciplined animals and have a regular schedule. The females are responsible for caring for the young, while the dominant male watches over the entire group and handles other adult responsibilities. On average, a group will roam an area of approximately 12 to 50 acres. But when they move from one place to another, they rarely travel more than 650 feet at a time. Like other rodents, capybara teeth grow continuously to compensate for constant wear. They chew their food by moving side to side rather than one side at a time. This is very effective. It allows them to convert tough grass into soft pulp. Capybaras are slow-moving, highly social animals. They've developed a peaceful lifestyle to thrive in a complex world full of dangers. Leaving the ponds of the Amazon and venturing into the forest, let's visit an animal that might make you wonder, how did they manage to survive for 60 million years without going extinct? Sloths are native inhabitants of the Amazon rainforest. They're found nowhere else in the world. This animal that doesn't care for movement spends most of its life living in the trees. A sloth's fur is very dense, and is literally a small forest itself. It's a paradise for parasites like fungi, algae, and worms that nest after each rainy season. You can even find beetles, mites, and a species of moth that can't be found anywhere else except on a sloth. With their slowness, sloths use their long claws to grip branches and move safely. In fact, a sloth only comes down from the tree when it wants to change trees or to defecate. Approximately every 10 days, the sloth must descend from the tree where it takes refuge to do its business. Each time it does, its body weight drops by approximately 30%. The time spent in the bathroom is when sloths are most at risk. Around 60% of sloth deaths caused by carnivores occur during their bathroom visits. Previously, it was believed that sloths slept 15 hours a day, but recent observations show they only sleep around 10 hours a day. Sloths are herbivorous animals. They feed mainly on leaves, and their teeth are specialized for this. Sloths have 18 teeth, and all of them are molars. This special dental structure helps sloths grind tough leaves easily. Although their movement speed on land isn't very impressive, sloths are extremely talented swimmers. The reason is that rainforests can flood seasonally, so the ability to swim is very necessary. Sloths underwater can move at speeds of up to 44 feet per minute, and their bodies float naturally from birth. In fact, sloths sleep mate, and even give birth, while hanging upside down from a branch. To accomplish this, their bodies are also designed unusually. Sloths' arms have special tendons that lock their posture. The long, curved claws on their toes help them grip trees better. Hanging upside down from branches would normally cause blood to pool in the brain, as in humans. But not sloths. They have a special valve in their circulatory system to prevent that from happening.